Our hearts collectively stopped when we saw that elbow injury last season, but the energy around the facility right now feels like that magical rookie run all over again. We remember the electricity Jaden Daniels brought to FedEx Field, and seeing him finally moving without hesitation is the spark this franchise desperately needs to reclaim its pride in the NFC East. Before we dive into how the roster has been rebuilt for him, please subscribe to help us reach our 500 subscriber goal, and hit that like button to support the team. Adam Peters has spent this entire offseason obsessing over one thing, and that is ensuring his franchise quarterback never has to play through a compromised season again. We all saw the drop-off after that painful Week 9 moment against the Seahawks, where a dislocated elbow changed the trajectory of the year. While it was his non-throwing arm, the loss of balance and the hesitation in his running game was obvious to anyone who watched the tape. It felt like the air was sucked out of the building. Dan Quinn knows that his job security and the team's legacy depend on a healthy number 5 under center. To make that happen, Peters didn't just sit on his hands during the draft and free agency. He went out and secured Matt Gublin, a gritty center from Michigan State, to anchor the middle of that line. He also drafted Antonio Williams, a receiver from Clemson who specializes in getting open fast. This is crucial because it gives the quarterback a quick outlet alongside a superstar like Terry McLaurin. Quinn also made the bold move to promote David Blough to offensive coordinator. This shift is designed to simplify the reads and get the ball out of the quarterback's hands before the defense can even breathe on him. DJ Williams is stepping into the quarterback's coach role, while the legendary Wes Welker is joining as an assistant to help the wideouts find those soft spots in the zone. The goal here is synergy. Peters and Quinn are building a fortress around their most valuable asset. They understand that the 2024 Rookie of the Year campaign wasn't a fluke, it was a blueprint. By fixing the protection and adding a weapon like Williams who can create immediate separation, they are removing every excuse and every obstacle. The front office is betting the entire future on the idea that a clean bill of health will result in a return to dominance. We aren't just talking about a slight improvement here. We are talking about a complete restoration of the offense that terrified the league just 2 years ago. Every move, from the scouting of Gublin to the hiring of Welker, points toward a unified vision. The reality of the NFL is that mobility is a fragile gift, and when that explosive running threat was neutralized by injury, the entire offensive scheme became predictable. In his first year, the dual-threat phenom racked up nearly 900 rushing yards, setting a record that made every defensive coordinator in the NFC East lose sleep. That ability to break the pocket and turn a broken play into a 40-yard gain is what separates the good teams from the elite ones. Without that speed, the passing windows got smaller and the hits got harder. Now that he is back to full strength, the threat of the scramble returns, which naturally opens up the deep shots to McLaurin. Think back to the atmosphere in the stadium during those big rookie moments. There was a sense of inevitability whenever he tucked the ball and ran. That feeling is coming back to the DMV. The coaching staff is implementing a system that prioritizes quick decision-making, which is the perfect marriage for a player who can also burn you with his legs. This new approach, spearheaded by the fresh offensive leadership, isn't about reinventing the wheel, but rather about polishing the diamond we already have. They are looking at the 2026 season as a redemption tour. The locker room already believes in his leadership, but seeing him zip the ball into tight windows during camp has shifted the mood from cautious optimism to genuine excitement. We have seen other franchises fail their young stars by not adjusting, but the Commanders are actively evolving. By bringing in specialists like Welker, the team is ensuring that the young receivers understand the timing required to keep the chains moving. This keeps the quarterback from having to hold the ball too long, which was a major factor in the injuries sustained last season. The goal is to create a rhythm where the defense is always guessing. If they play back to stop the pass, he runs. If they spy the quarterback, Williams or McLaurin will be open in the flat. It is a chess match where Washington finally has all the right pieces on the board to protect their king. Everything comes down to one simple truth. This team will only go as far as their star player can carry them. If the protection holds up and the health remains stable, this team could easily win several more games than they did last year. It is the difference between fighting for a wild card spot and actually taking the division crown away from the Cowboys or the Eagles. When the quarterback is confident in his body and his line, the entire team plays with more energy. The defense doesn't feel like they have to be perfect on every single drive because they know the offense can actually put points on the board. This could help them win more games early in the season, which builds the momentum needed for a deep playoff run. If the offensive line, led by the new additions, can just give him an extra second in the pocket, the completion percentage will skyrocket. We are looking at a scenario where the frustration of the last 2 years finally evaporates. Fans have waited a long time for a leader who stays on the field and delivers under pressure. The cost of failure is too high to think about, as another injury-plagued season would raise questions about the long-term future of the position. But the upside is incredible. A healthy star means a sold-out stadium, a buzz in the city, and a legitimate seat at the table in the NFC. It means the rivals in our division have to actually respect our passing game again. It means the running game becomes twice as effective because the defense is terrified of the quarterback keeper. The ripple effect of a healthy number 5 is felt in every corner of the organization. It makes the coaches look smarter, the fans feel happier, and the players play harder. This is about more than just stats. It is about the soul of the franchise. We need this win. We need to see that rookie magic return to the grass at Northwest Stadium. If these changes work, the path to the postseason becomes much clearer for all of us who have stayed loyal through the lean years. Let's talk about the 2 paths ahead of us because the stakes couldn't be any higher. In the best-case scenario, the new offensive line provides a clean pocket, and the star quarterback rediscovers his lightning-fast pace. He connects with Williams early and often, making defenses pay for doubling McLaurin. The offense becomes a top 10 unit in the league, and Washington cruises into the playoffs with a home game. We see the joy back on the sidelines. We see the swagger that defined that record-breaking rookie season. This would prove that the front office made the right moves and that the coaching staff is elite. But there is a darker path we have to acknowledge. If the injuries linger or if the new line doesn't gel quickly enough, the season could spiral. If he takes too many hits early in September, the old hesitations might return. A quarterback who is afraid to run is only half as dangerous, and that would leave the offense stagnant once again. The frustration from the fans would be deafening if we saw another year of wasted potential. The tension in the building would be palpable every time he goes down after a sack. We would all be holding our collective breath, praying he gets back up. This is the tightrope the Commanders are walking right now. They have invested everything into this comeback story. If it fails, we are looking at a complete rebuild of the strategy. But if it works, it marks the beginning of a new era of dominance in Washington. The difference between these two outcomes is razor thin. It depends on a few blocks, a few catches, and a lot of luck with health. Every game will feel like a high-stakes gamble until we see that first highlight reel run. The pressure on the young quarterback is immense, but that is exactly what he was drafted for. He has the talent to overcome the worst-case scenario and lead this team to glory. We are all waiting to see which version of the story unfolds when the lights come on for the very first game. At the end of the day, the Washington Commanders are betting their entire 2026 season on the health and resilience of Jayden Daniels. The front office has done its part by bringing in guys like Matt Gublin and Antonio Williams to provide support. The coaching staff has been reshuffled to ensure the system fits the player perfectly. Now, it all comes down to whether that elbow is truly 100%, and if the mental scars of a tough second year have healed. It is a high-stakes gamble, but it is one that every fan in DC is willing to take. We have seen what he can do when he is right, and it is spectacular. Be honest with me, do you think the additions to the offensive line are enough to keep him safe this year, or are you still worried about the hits he takes? I want to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Also, please don't forget to subscribe to help us reach our goal of 500 subscribers. Your support means everything to this channel and the community we are building. Hit that like button now.